Hey guys, so I had all these big plans and they kind of got derailed because life happens. In short, we had like a water leak due to some construction issues, and then after that we got new carpets installed. So I don't know if you can see the but we got new carpets, which means we had to move every single piece of furniture out and empty all the rooms so that we could get new carpets put in, which was a problem because my yarn was in a bookcase that did not have a back on it, so all the yarn would have just gone everywhere if we tried to move it all together. So we put them in totes, and I have realized now that this is a Costco sized bucket, like the industrial storage buckets from Costco. Okay, these blue hefty ones, these are 40 quarts, and I have 4 of them. Okay, you can't see, but there's another container that I think it says it's longer than this, and the plan was that could fit under my bed. It didn't, so I'm on a mission to consolidate down yarn and just get through it and not do any shopping. If you can see behind me, I actually have a project I'm almost done with. That project is going to be the death of me because I have a timeline for it. It's a birthday gift in less than 2 weeks, and I've retied, realigned, reorganized, like redone the shaping and the sewing of all the bits like 6 times because I cannot get the sleeves to look right. It's gonna be a little kimono. If you watch anime, you know what it's supposed to be inspired by. And I counted wrong because I'm not good at math, and so I realized that I do not have enough squares. I thought I was done making squares. I completely forgot you have 2 sleeves, so I had enough for 1 sleeve, and then I realized that I needed 2. But I didn't want to make any more squares today, so I decided to film this. Because this is too much yarn. In this bucket alone is 15 projects maybe with this little bamboo yarn. This is all bulky yarn. This is more bulky and cotton. This is completely stuffed. All of this is. And these 3 baskets are my whips that are almost done. So, I have this blanket, and I don't know if I showed this in a video before, but it's done. It's a granny square blanket with a white border for contrast. But if you can see, there's a whole bunch of tails on it. Because I made this for my grandfather, because he gets cold when he watches TV, but he doesn't like a blanket. He only likes his back and his shoulders covered. So I made it short and long. And I made him put it on to make sure it's the right size, and then he refused to give it back because he said that I wasn't going to give it back to him, and he didn't want me to weave in all the tails. But he actually went back to Mexico for a little while, so I can finally weave in all the tails. We found it in his room when we were moving all the furniture, so I can finally finish weaving all the tails, and so this basket will be empty pretty soon. This one is 2 big granny squares of mandala yarn, and I just never finished one of them, so I have this much yarn left, and then I'm going to sew them together and make it a little lap blanket, because I did find a shelter that would accept handmade items from me recently. The only issue with that is every item has to be labeled, because they don't have a specific program. Like, they don't have the Hats for Bullying campaigns. They do women's shelter, they do children's, they do rehab assistance, they do a little bit of everything. So she said if I could just label if it's for unisex, age group, what it is, if I could tag every item, they'll take whatever I'll give them. They'll take blankets and hats and cardigans and sweaters. So I haven't decided if I'm gonna donate this to the shelter. I mean, it's cute, but I don't think it's very practical. It's also a small, so it's not very inclusive, you know. But it's done and it's laying around. I have a failure here. This was supposed to be a cowl, and I followed the pattern, but my tension, I don't know if it's way out, it's just too short. It doesn't do what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to do like a cross thing and cover your neck like this, but it is way too short. If we could like, so in theory, I should have buttons here, and then this would cross over and like button there, but like it's just too short. So I need to remake another section of this and either attach it, or I don't know what I'll do with it. Continue it as a lap blanket with just different colors. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't even know if I have any more of this yarn because it all got moved when we were storing things. So I have too much stuff. This is, again, another granny square, and I have 2 of these, and I just need to sew them together. And I did pick out some yarn, so I have yarn that goes with it that I can finish whatever last round if it wasn't an even round, and then have those done. And my sister has a Cricut, so she's gonna teach me to make those little tags, like the little cute ones, you know, that are like triangle on the top and square, and so I can put like unisex lap blanket, unisex throw blanket, age range, like if I make baby stuff, because I'm just going to, all of this fits in my closet, so I don't really see it. So the only yarn I'm going to see is what's in these 3 baskets. That's all the yarn I'm going to keep out. So after I finish this birthday gift, I'm going to finish these projects, and then I will fill each basket here with yarn that I pull out and get through it that way, because this is too much yarn. And you know, it was kind of a reality check, so I have not purchased any yarn. I also had some medical stuff going on, so I wasn't working full-time, so it's actually kind of beneficial that I'm not shopping, but I'm actively not shopping. I want to tackle my need for consumerism, maybe. Don't know if that's the right term. We were raised, my early childhood, before I can remember, we did not have a lot of money. My parents were immigrants. They got stable by the time I was like achieving memories, so I don't have that like super financial hardship. So when I started making my own money, you know, I didn't have bills to pay. I didn't have to worry about anything because my parents were stable, so the money I made was for me. So I kind of spent it willy-nilly. And I'm realizing now that I buy so much stuff that I don't need. Again, we were doing our carpets, so we had to organize the bathroom because we were putting furniture in the bathroom. And I found 6 different half-started shampoo liters, not the little itty-bitty ones, like, because I'm a hairdresser, liters of shampoo, 6 liters, like 4 conditioners, like 4 half-started body washes. So I am, actually, I have a container, and I'm going to start keeping track of everything I use up till I, like, don't need to, like, until I run out of stuff. Like, I'm running low on my mouthwash. When I finish that container, I will buy a new one. I'm not going to buy one now because then I get excited with the new flavor, and then the other one does get used. And I get stuck in that limbo of 2 inches of product left. So maybe that would be a fun video to like keep a track of everything I use up. That goes for makeup too. I've gotten a lot better about not buying makeup that I don't need. I mean, I don't need any makeup. I have, for me, it's a little bit compared to what I used to have. But I also used to do bridal makeup, so like that was kind of an excuse. You know, I am a licensed esthetician. So like I got away with it, which was also terrible because then I was like, oh, it's not for me, it's for my business. It was for me. So I'm not gonna buy anything. I am tracking all of my finances. I have a planner. I am tracking no spend days, and one thing that I'm actively trying to do, because I have some medical bills that I'm like paying off, because when you get surgery in America and end up in the emergency room, it's kind of expensive. So I have 2 jobs right now. One is a temporary job where I just go in the days that I feel capable of working, and, you know, in my recovery, you know, I can't work 40 hours straight right now. It just is not good for recovery. But I can work like 2-3 days a week, and some days I'll do 4. If they were easy shifts, I'll pick up an extra one. But I also do hair, so I get cash tips on those days. So what I've decided is, if it is something that I physically need, you know, when I buy new mouthwash, when I buy groceries, not just snacks because I wanted a donut one day, like actual groceries, I will use my, you know, debit credit cards. If it's something frivolous, I'm only going to spend the money that I make in cash tips. I'm not going to use my cards for anything frivolous, just to really see the impact of how much dumb spending I'm doing. It's like, it's the $2 and $3 that get you, you know, oh, it's a $4 squeaky toy for my dog. I'll just get that. Oh, that's a cute little blanket for my cat. Let me get that. If it's for my cat or my dog, like, I spend the money on them. They don't need it. They have enough toys. But, yeah, I'm actively not tracking. I placed one order for, planner stickers. I don't know if anybody here is planner people, but I placed one order for the monthly sticker spreads to get me through I think the next 6 months, because frivolous spending, I am only going to use cash, so I won't be able to do online shopping unless it's, you know, online grocery pickup or something like that. So that is the plan. I am trying to reinvent everything. I'm trying to just get everything reined back in, and you know, doing this change has made me realize how much money I didn't realize I was spending, you know? So I think it'll be a good change. And it's also, I've been crocheting so much because of this dang project. I don't know if you can see, let me see, if it's like a tall, it's a cardigan. It's going to be the cardigan from Demon Slayer. And I am done except for one sleeve. A couple of them are not connected because somehow I missed them, even though like 90% of it is done. And then I have to sew on the sleeves and then weave in all the ends. Luckily, I weaved in my magic circle as I went, so I only have one tail per granny square to weave in, because I didn't weave in as I went the tails of the end of the blocks. And I just realized this looks really bad. Again, I'm a hairdresser. I did my sister's color last night, so this is just brown hair dye. It's not bruises. I just realized that looks like bruises in my camera. It's a hairdresser trick. We keep our clips like on our sleeves, so as I was doing her color, I just kept swiping myself. Hazards of the job. I think my hands might even have some. It'll look like fake tan every now and then, but that is the plan. I'm going to finish a couple of squares today. I'm going to finish all of my squares by this weekend, and I work Saturday and Sunday, so I'm not going to be crocheting super much because just depends on how busy the days are at the salon. If they're super busy, my hands hurt. But I'm going to finish it, and I will have it sewed and put together and tails woven in by Wednesday. And by Saturday of that weekend, I will have finished at least one of these baskets. I have not decided which one yet. I have also decided or thought about maybe asking my mom to learn to weave in ends. And maybe she could do that for me, and I could just like get her a Starbucks, which I just realized is defeating the purpose of my no spending if I'm getting her a $5 coffee every day that she does weaving in ends for me. But you know, time is money, so maybe it's an investment. See, this is where girl math fails you. Before I girl math myself into spending more money that I don't need, I'm gonna end this video. And just leave you guys with, you gotta roll with the punches. I didn't expect to do this to my yarn. I had it all organized and all cute in bags with projects for each kind of yarn. Like I had picked out my Ravelry stuff. I had a queue going in my Ravelry of projects to do. And I did it, you know, I did it until I couldn't because life happens. And so you do what you can. So we're just gonna move forward because I'm not moving backwards. Thanks.